This is just going to be email basics that are across all of your email servers. So it doesn't matter what email you have, you should be able to do all of these functions that I am going to mention today. So some of the things that we are going to cover today are the functions of an email, so how to compose, reply, forward, and send, how to search for a specific email, deleting emails, and finally, how to recognize scam emails. So these are the typical email companies that maybe some of you have today on this call. So starting from left to right, we have Yahoo email, so yahoo.com, which is the purple icon. Then the second icon is Apple email. So if you have an Apple iPhone or an Apple iPad, you are the only people who will have this icon on your tablet or your phone or even your computer. If you're someone who has an Android phone or an Android tablet, you will never see this icon, only for Apple devices. So Apple emails are either iCloud.com, or you could put any email into the app. So if you have a Yahoo, a Gmail, a Hotmail, they also accept those emails and you can put it in that app. The third icon is Gmail. So if you have a Google account, anything at gmail.com, that is your icon, that little rainbow M icon. And then lastly, we have Outlook. So Outlook is owned by Microsoft. And in Outlook, you can put your AOL email, outlook.com. Some people who still have Hotmail use the Outlook app because Hotmail's now within Microsoft. So those are kind of all of the main email companies now. The other ones that are not mentioned are more like security emails that kind of like businesses use, or just other email servers that are outdated. But these are the most common email companies. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay, so let's get started and learn about a bit of the different things we should know how to do with our emails, which are the functions of an email. So anytime we want to start an email or send an email to our family members or to our friends, we want to find wherever it says compose. So compose is another word for write. So whether you have a Gmail or Apple email or Yahoo, Microsoft Outlook, they are going to have similar icons to start an email. They usually are indicated by a plus sign symbol, like as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. Sometimes it even says the word compose, which is even better. And then sometimes it's indicated by a square with a pencil. So those are the common icons you should look out for on your smartphone or your tablet, or even on your computer if you use email for your computer. Those are the buttons you want to click on if you want to start an email and send someone an email. So not replying to someone, but starting fresh and brand new. These are the icons we look out for. And once you click on these icons, you should get a screen that looks like this. This is a common email layout where when you click on to compose, you get this, but it's blank. And the first thing you would always fill out is first, who are you sending the email to? So right now I just circled in red the person's name. So in this example, this is an email sent to Henry. They're going to get that email, Henry. And For you, sometimes you could put the person's name if they're already a contact in your smartphone or in your tablet, but sometimes you do need to know their full email. So in this example, Henry is just Henry's first name and last name because their phone or tablet already has this name as their in their contacts. However, sometimes you have to put their full address, like henry@gmail.com, at AOL.com, at yahoo.com. But in this example, they didn't have to do that because their phone or tablet already recognizes this person, and they didn't have to fill out that whole entire email address. It kind of depends on how many emails you send. Do you always send an email to the same person over and over? So if you send an email to someone, to your friend, over and over, eventually your tablet or your smartphone is going to recognize that person's email address, and you don't have to put in their full email address. You can just put their first name, like Tabitha or Henry, and it will recognize it and already know who they're going to send the email to. After we put in the person's name, the next thing we do is our subject. So the subject line is where it says, "Thank you, appointment confirmation." The subject is always just the header of the email. So when they open up their email, that's the first thing they're going to see, the header. And then before you send it, you always want to do the message of the email, which is always going to be in the largest box of your email layout. So this is where you write your message to someone, and the person only sees the message once they open up your email. So they may first see that subject, but when they click on the email is when they see this large message, this paragraph that you would put in your email. And then lastly, do not forget to send that email to someone. So in this example, right away, it says the word send, but in many cases, you don't really have the word send. It's probably just indicated by a blue arrow or just the arrow itself. But mostly on computers, it says the word send. Smartphones or tablets is just like a blue arrow. Does anybody have any questions on this? And then lastly, I just want to go over these icons that maybe some of you have seen before, but just to get familiar with them. In this example, this is a screenshot from a computer. So if you do have a smartphone or a tablet, these icons can be located in different places on your phone or your tablet. However, the icons are always going to look the same. So that's why I just want to briefly mention them to you. So we're just going to start from left to right, and I'm just going to go over the most important icons. So for example, this icon right here with the letter A, with the underline under it, that is how you kind of change the font in your email. So for example, if you wanted the letters to be larger, that's the button you would click on. Or let's say you wanted it to be in bold, or you wanted to underline something in the email. It's kind of always going to be right here with where I just drew an arrow by that A with the underline. But once again, it's not always going to be at the bottom of the screen. Sometimes it's at the top of the screen. Sometimes you have to click on the phone. So, and it depends on what email company you have as well. So, I know right now you're looking at the screen and you may say, oh, it's probably always going to be at the bottom, but no, it's going to be like all over, depending on whether you have Gmail, Yahoo, AOL, Microsoft, a computer, a tablet. This icon can be anywhere on the screen. I'm just letting you know that if you ever see this icon, that's what it does. It makes the font larger. It can make things bold. You can or underline things in your email. Then another very important icon that you may have seen before is this paper clip icon. And a paper clip icon is an attachment. So let's say you wanted to send a picture in an email. That is how you do so, by clicking on that paper clip icon. Or if you were emailing your doctor and you wanted to send your doctor some blood test results, you would click on that paper icon. Or if you were emailing your coworker and you had to send them something that you recently did for work, you would click on that paper icon. If it's something to do with your taxes and you needed to, email something about your taxes, that is the paper clip icon of how to send a document to someone, an attachment, whether it's a picture, a PDF. Those are the two most important things I just wanted to go over. The rest are kind of icons that have to do with specific emails companies. Like this icon here, you would only find it in the Google Gmail email. So that means Google Drive. So the most two important icons are the A and the paper clip.
And what's the Google Drive mean?
So Google Drive is for files that you save inside of the Google Drive. It's a file storage place.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna go on. The next is reply and reply to all. So whenever you receive an email, you can use the reply command to respond to the message. So on your computer or smartphone, whenever you want to reply to someone, it's going to be indicated by a left arrow. So what I just circled on the screen right now. So if you ever see a left arrow when you are reading an email, that means that if you click on it, you're going to reply to that person. However, some emails as well just say the word reply. They don't have a left arrow. But if you do see a left arrow, that is what that button does. As well, if you get an email and that email contains many recipients, so if it's 3, 4, 5 people in the email, you do have a different type of left arrow, which I just circled on the screen, which means to reply to all. So if it's a left arrow, but it's 2 left arrows, like what I just circled, that is replying to everyone in the email. So if you wanted everyone to see your response, you would click on that arrow. If you just wanted one person to see it, so the person who sent the email, you would click the one left arrow. But once again, sometimes these arrows are not even on a smartphone or tablet or computer. Sometimes it will just say reply to all or reply. So it changes depending on the different email company you have with Gmail, Yahoo, AOL. Sometimes they will use the word just reply or reply to all. And sometimes they will have these arrows. So does anybody have questions on that? Okay. All right, so another important thing that all emails have, doesn't matter what email company you have, is the function to search for an email. So I know when people go through their emails, they just, scroll with their finger and try to find that important email for someone. But there's a very quicker way to find an email that you don't have to go with your finger forever and keep scrolling. There's always going to be a search bar inside of your smartphone, your tablet, and your computer. And right here, I have a screenshot of it on a smartphone on the left-hand side and on the right side on a computer. And that is where the search bar is. It's always at the top of the screen for all email companies. Doesn't matter what company you have, the search bar is always at the top, and it's a long white bar. And in that bar, you can put in someone's name, you can put in their email address, or let's say you don't even remember who sent you that email, you can just put a phrase that you remembered from the email and it will find it for you. It will find every single email that contains that phrase. So I'm going to just quickly show you on a computer what I mean. So I'm going to quickly leave this PowerPoint and I'm going to go into my email. This is gmail.com. And you can see right here, all the way at the top of the screen, I have my search bar. So in this search bar, I can find an email very easily. So I can just type it in here of what I'm looking for, whether it's a person, a company, even just a phrase. So let's say I don't remember who sent me the email, but I remember changing my password. If I just type in password, you can see right now my email filtered all the things that I have and is now only showing me emails that contain the word password. And how do I know that? Because they are highlighted in yellow. So Google is telling me right now, these are all of your emails that have the word password in it. And now I can see, oh, I remember it was this company, or I remember it was that company. But it's just a quicker way to find an email. If I knew the person, I could just type the person easily at the top of the screen. If I knew the company, I could do that as well. But in this case, if I didn't know the company, I didn't remember the person, I just put a phrase or a word, password, and it easily found the emails for me. And that's just a really quick way to find an email. And this also works on a smartphone or a tablet. If you have any of these apps on your phone, you can do the same thing that I just did, which is always going to the search bar and searching up a person's name or phrase. It works on all email companies. Does anybody have questions on that? Okay. So now that we know the search bar, that is just a really great way to just find emails quicker. It saves you a bunch of time because you don't have to keep scrolling with your finger. You could also put dates in the search bar too. So if you remembered at least the date of when the person sent it to you, you can also put at the top the dates and it will try to find the email that way. So any little bit of information that you remember about the email, just put that in that search bar at the top of the screen and it's going to find every single email that contains that word, date, anything that you put up there. As well as searching for emails, you can get very exclusive with searching for emails. So I just showed you the basics, which it was just putting a word, a name, or a phrase. But with some email companies, especially with Gmail, Apple does it too, as well as Outlook. they have something called search filters where you can get very particular with your email. So let's say you specifically only wanted to know the date of that email. You can tell your smartphone, I only want that date of that email. I only want emails that have attachments. So I only want to see emails that have pictures and documents. However, the way I showed you is just the most simplest way to do it by putting in a person's name or phrase. But let's say even doing that, you get too many emails. This is how to make it even more specific. Does anybody have questions on that? Okay. So another big thing is deleting emails. And a lot of people think that emails just sit in your phone. They don't really take up storage or space, but that is incorrect. Emails are a big reason why your phone may not have enough space. So it is very important that you do take up some time to delete some emails, especially whether it's if you have the email app on your smartphone or your tablet. Emails don't really take up space on a computer. So, I mean, if you just have a computer and you use your computer only for emails, then you don't have to worry about that. But if you're someone who's always using your email on your phone or your tablet, you should try to delete some of those emails. So I am going to show you just some ways of how to delete your emails. If you want to delete emails by the hundreds, by 500 in one shot, you could only do that on a computer. So let's say you have 30,000 emails and you say, okay, I'm ready to delete these emails. If you wanted to delete 500 emails at one time, you could only do that on a computer. It doesn't work that way with a smartphone or a tablet because they don't have that function just yet. But if you are someone on this call today that does have a computer, I'm going to show you where to find how to delete a lot of emails at one shot. Right here, you could see I have 55 emails. All the way in the corner, it says 55. I circled it in red on the screen. Let's say I wanted to delete all of those 55 emails in one shot. I didn't want to do it individually. If I did it individually, it would just take up too much of my time. My fingers would cramp up. It wouldn't be, necessary to do that. How do you delete once at a time? You would just click on an email, right? And find the garbage can somewhere. But once again, that's just going to take up too much of my time. Instead, I want to delete it all at once. So this is on a Gmail, but the same thing works with any other email company on a computer. But you do want to find somewhere at the top that has this icon. Let me just circle it. It's in red on the screen. Whether it's a square or it's a circle for another company, it doesn't really matter. But this icon should always be at the top of the tippy top of the screen on a computer. This icon here is going to select all of my emails and delete them at one shot. So let's say you really wanted to do this, but you don't own a computer or laptop. You could always go to the library and go on their computer and do it this way. You could always come here to the center if you live close by and use one of our computers. If you have a friend or family member who will let you borrow their laptop to just do this, you can do it that way. But only on computers, you can delete them all at one time. So you can see that once I clicked on it, everything on my screen is now highlighted. Every single email. Even here at the top, it says all 50 conversations on this page are selected. So what this is telling me is that all of the 50 emails will be deleted once I hit the garbage can. But as you can see here on the screen, I don't have 50 emails. I have 55 emails. So I do have an option that says select all 55 conversations. And conversations just means emails. So let's say for you, if you have thousands and thousands of emails, it will say select all 1,000 emails or select all 600 emails. You do want to click on that so it gets all of your emails, and then you can hit that garbage can. Or it will just say, are you sure you want to delete all 55 emails? Are you sure you want to delete all 500 emails, depending on how many emails you have? But once again, this works only on a computer. Does anybody have questions on
Yeah, I,
this?
I keep getting disconnected, but that little box selects all and then you delete the whole thing.
Correct. Correct. So when you select all of this, right, everything gets selected. And then right here it says, do you want to select all 55? So I have 55 emails. So if I clicked on that, it will delete all my emails. But depending on how many emails you have, of course, this number is going to be different. But once I do click on that, Alicia, what you see that's in red, it is going to delete all of my emails that I have.
Oh, great.
Anybody else have any questions on this for a computer or a laptop? Okay, then. So if not, I am gonna just go over one last thing, general thing, which is email scams that I want to talk about and show you some examples of how email scams look like. So anybody here on the call have ever experienced a spam or scam email? Seen
Yes.
one before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So email uh, scams are very, very common, and there isn't a way to really like tell your email, I do not want any scams, right? You can have the perfect password in the world, and somehow you'll still get a scam email. But what you need to know is just how to make sure not to get fooled by them, right? So you could get scam emails, but if you know when to avoid them or not to click on certain things, then you're going to be all set. So I'm going to show you some examples of email scams. I'm going to show you what to never do when you get an email scam. And then hopefully you'll be prepared the next time you do get a scam email. So the first thing that you should always do when you do see a scam email is to always look at the name of who sent the email. So their actual email address. So for example, if Amazon is sending you an email, the email address should say at amazon.com. If it's some person's name like Bob123, at whatever their email is .com, it's not actually Amazon contacting you. Sometimes that is a very good indicator that it is a scam email, but sometimes they'll even make it more trickier. Sometimes it will say Amazon, but maybe Amazon is misspelled, so you don't really catch it right away. Sometimes instead of an O, they put a 0, or they just change one simple letter in that email that your eye will just scan over. But you should always look at who is sending you the email. Read their full email address. And that is a great way to see that it's a scam. As well, if you get an email and it just looks very strange, like maybe the fonts are all different, maybe they're using weird colors in the email, that is a other indicator that it is a scam email. Also, another big email scam is invoices for orders that you may have never ordered, but you still get an email from them. So for an example, let's say it's an email that says UPS has sent you your order, but something went wrong with it. Click here to get your order back on track. That is a typical scam email. Or let's say it's Amazon, and Amazon is saying you owe them $400 for the order that you never even purchased. That is a typical scam email. If you do ever experience that, the best way is always to just contact their customer service and just leave the email alone. Don't click on it. Don't press on anything that they try to take you to. Just immediately throw it in the garbage can and call the company themselves. You can also even email the company's official email address and ask them if they sent you that email. But never respond to something that you think it's a scam. Never click on an email that you think it's a scam, because most likely those links that they put in the email address, like if they say click here or click here to get your prize or click here to get your reward, all of those click here buttons are ways to put a virus on your computer or your smartphone, or to just hack into your device and steal your information. So anything that's saying click here right now, just avoid it at all cost and just delete it from your email. Does anybody have questions on that?
What do you do once you made the mistake?
Well, when you make the mistake, depends on, well, the company. So if it was Amazon, you want to immediately contact Amazon and change your password in case that they get into your accounts, because a lot of people that have Amazon, their credit cards are linked to their Amazon account. So you don't want someone to get your password with that, because then they'll start ordering things on your card. So the best thing is to always immediately change your password right away.
Okay.
If it's something with Apple, you want to then go to the Apple store so they can help you change your password. If it's something to do with your bank, call your bank immediately to, close your card for now, and as well change your password. Anybody else? If it is like you clicked on something and now you have a virus, well, then you do have to then take it to like the Geek Squad, like in Best Buy. Or if it's an Apple phone, you have to take it to the Apple store so they can fix it. Or if you know a local company or business that helps with repairing devices, you can do it that way. But if you
How
get
do
a
you know how do you know it has a virus?
well, you'll see that your phone is glitching. Maybe the person who hacked it is controlling your phone. Like you'll see that your phone is doing things that you're not when you're not touching it. Like it's opening things on its own. You're gonna
Oh,
see that you're getting a lot of spam of different things on your device. It's just going to be acting weird. So we're going to look at some examples of an email scam. So this one in particular is an email from Netflix, supposedly. But even if you don't have Netflix, this is just a common email scam for all different companies. They always use like the same wording, the same type of message. So this is an email apparently from Netflix that it says, "Dear customer, some information on your account appears to be missing. please update your account information so you can continue to enjoy all of the benefits. If you don't update within 72 hours, we will limit what you can do with your account. So right away, you can see in the middle of the screen, it has a button that they want you to click on, because apparently if you click on it, you'll get in contact with Netflix and you can fix your information. However, this is the buttons that I'm talking about that can give you viruses or hack into your device. This urgent button that they need you to verify it now is a common scam that a lot of, scam companies do, because they want you to think that it's very urgent, that they need you to take action now, but this is just how they get you to be scared and click on things. But if something is very urgent in an email, it is a scam tactic. So you would just want to avoid this email and hit the garbage can. If Netflix is saying you need to reset your information, you want to just call Netflix's customer service and you can tell them over the phone the information that they're missing. And you do want to change your password right away. But once again, Netflix or any other company, whether it's your bank account, whether it's a shopping website like Amazon, they're not going to ask you to click here to verify your information. They would just call you, or on the official website, it would say to update your account, but they're never going to email you to change things. Another thing to look out for is here where it says Dear Customer. These accounts already know your name. So Netflix already knows who you are, Amazon knows who you are, your bank account knows who you are. So when it's a very generic subject, a very generic greeting, like Dear Customer, that is a very good indicator that it is a scam. If Netflix is truly emailing you, it would say Dear Tabitha. It would say your name. It would say your first name and your last name. Same thing with your bank account, with Amazon, it would say Dear Tabitha. Wouldn't say Dear Customer, wouldn't say hello there. It would have your full name because they have your information on file. So when it has a very generic thing, when it has a very urgent message, those are two things to look out for, that it is a scam. Does anybody have questions on that? So because it is tax season, this is an example of a scam email that you can get, especially now because the taxes are coming up. So this is apparently an email from the IRS. So before I even go over why it's a scam, IRS is not going to email you about any money that you're missing or need to claim. They're never going to email you that to change anything with their account. They will call you or will send you an official letter in the mail. But they are not going to send you an email about any money that you owe or any money that you're going to get. So if you ever see like this, especially now in this month coming up or the next week, just delete this immediately. But once again, you can see here, anything that says get started or click here, those are common email scam tactics to get you to get a virus on your computer, on your phone. And if it's not a virus, it is going to take you to a fake website. So a fake IRS website where you put in all your information so they can get into your bank account. So even if your phone doesn't get a virus, even if your computer doesn't get a virus, these links will still lead you to fake websites, fake companies that are pretending to be the IRS, pretending to be Amazon, pretending to be Netflix, to get your information, to steal your, financial details. So it's best to always just delete these emails and call the company themselves. But in this example with IRS, this is one company that will never email you about any money that you're getting or owe. Does anybody have questions on that?